dear. Blood's never a pretty sight, is it? Ready to fight the urge to run under a hot tap and get it clean.
You've always been fastidious about cleanliness, haven't you?
I think this is something else, Father. I
What,
just
is
don't
it?
want to look at the blood.
It's just a little blood.
Okay. Alright, let me stab you right now and see how much little blood comes out.
Susato!
The label appears to be written in a foreign language that I don't know.
English.
I don't think it. I don't think it's. I think it's like French or something.
Yeah, I don't actually know, but
Well,
There's
you
your
know what?
answer.
I was close.
That your initials are also RM?
No!
Well, I'm not talking about you.
I don't want to lose.
Well, get used to it. You've lost already.
What's up, everybody? KBTV on the Sun, and welcome back to the first case of the Great Ace Attorney 2. Mr. Many Memo, as you can see, we were looking through the history, apparently had an interview with the English woman. Didn't bother to mention
That I
little-
did.
Didn't bother to mention that little detail to us, apparently, in his testimony, so here we are.
yeah, why
Hey, you can read everything in the fine print. If you want to read the interview, you'll have to go get the copy of the show your newspaper.
We're in the court of law. We don't need that. I think you read that, so.
As I said, it was before that evil little student girl showed her face in the hut. It couldn't have lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes, that's all. It was just a brief exchange. But it came to nothing. As we many motorists say, the people who don't pay their dues are for unworthy news.
I know it's many memoists, but like he has moist in his sentence, in his word.
Many
I'm just like-
memoists.
and all I can
Many
see.
memoists.
That's all I can see.
As we many memoists say.
We don't want anything moist because that means that the ink isn't dry yet on the newspaper, and we want to get good news out there.
However insignificant you deem it to be, this court cannot overlook the meeting between yourself and the victim. You will testify now under oath about the precise nature of this meeting and what transpired.
Got it? Yes, alright. Bet. On one condition.
Condition?
In all good conscience, I couldn't speak aloud
Goodbye.
alone
it
about
would
this.
appear that you can't really speak out anyway.
In all the conscience, I couldn't speak out alone. Stop speaking.
Well, as you can see, the unfortunate thing is that I am on a very tethered network, and the network itself is a bit scrambled. So, you'll need to call back the earlier witness, Sosuke Natsume-san.
Oh my god, he works for the WWE Network?
No, nothing like that. If I was to work for something a network like that would be for Sumo. But for me, as for why I'm here, you see, this is actually a robot duplicate of myself while I'm still out doing the news.
I don't know enough about Japanese wrestling to continue this bit.
Neither do I.
Unfortunately, the signal between the robots and myself can be quite crappy. Sorry, what?
Anyway,
Okay, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said I don't know enough about Japanese wrestling to contribute to this bit.
So Seki-san,
Oh yes, according to my notes here, that man has a secret of his own. And brace yourselves, it's not a harmless one. It's a big scoop.
what?
huh?
What?
Honey?
Memoism states that the one man's secret is every other man's front page story.
Very well. I will grant the witness's request in this instance. Officer, summon the earlier witness back to the stand.
Seki-san, hiding something?
The only thing he's probably hiding are maybe more cats somewhere.
He has a cat in his coat right now.
do not understand why I'm standing up here again. The witness's secrets.
I asked the English woman for an interview, but she declined. So I left the hut without making a fuss. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed and the other witness coming running. The detective realized the victim still had a pulse, so he ran off to fetch help. Okay, I'm sorry. My internet is being really shitty today, so sorry.
I had a feeling.
Oh no, you're good. I'm
is
just
really
rolling with
funny.
it every time.
Yeah, the timing
We
is
can just
really
say
funny.
that he's speaking so fast that words just escape him.
Fair. You know
Well, he
what?
ran.
I'll go with that.
He ran.
That's when this writer man here asks the woman a very significant question. But he didn't say anything about that in the testimony, which is why many Mimosa demands I reveal it now.
I love how Soseki didn't say anything that entire time. He was just kind of there, fidgeting.
You mean to say that the victim?
The victim regained consciousness? And when she did, you decided to ask her a question?
That's, true, yes.
He did, and that's not all. The woman gave a very quite definitive answer. An answer that incriminates the accused.
Rubble, 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 rubble.
This is preposterous. Why am I only hearing about this now?
Because you don't admit to the memorism.
Why didn't you mention this before? You yokel hack. I'm sorry, I'm running out of insults.
Why is everyone a yokel? Like,
I'm a renowned writer. What are you talking about? It wasn't even a conversation. Just, yes, I did pose the withering English rose a question. I don't deny it. But she could
her that.
no longer speak. She was barely conscious even.
counsel for the defense, I expect a thorough cross-examination to be conducted here. Please. This court must and will know the truth. Getting tired of this shit.
Absolutely.
Your Excellency.
The reporters claim that Miss Brett implicated race somehow? What on earth could have happened in that hut?
Cross-examination! I'm pretty sure we know what we need to press because they didn't clarify what the heck she said. Which their statement, which is... There we go.
Hold it! What question? What exactly did he say?
Well now, you should hear from the horse's mouth, I think. Looks like he's in the race right now.
He's having PTSD moments right now, man.
This man.
Don't you, Mr. Riderman?
This man is having flashbacks to the war.
Ah!
Out with it, you yokel hack!
He's more accomplished than you, Ouchie. Shut up.
Say.
What did you say to her? What did you say to the dying English woman?
Well, in truth, I'd been catching crabs at the water's edge and building castles in the sand, you see. Oh my god, what the good life right there.
Well, the seaside is a place to be at leisure, I suppose. Even for a grown man.
But then all of a sudden, from that little beach hut, a young girl's panic-stricken cries for help pierced the air.
Hey!
I ran up the beach to see what was happening, to find the defendant leaning over the collapsed victim. As soon as Inspector Hosanaga showed Miss Brett on the ground, or saw, he sprinted off to get help. And then, just a moment later, I heard a faint moan. A moan from the dead English woman. I nearly jumped out of my skin!
But what did you ask her, Soseki-san?
I asked her, who did this to you?
Don't protract this any longer. How did the woman respond?
She didn't! She said nothing in response! But...
When in the stand, you will answer the question asked of you unambiguously. Now, without evasion or reticence, I demand that you amend your testimony.
I will!
The testimony he wasn't a part of.
I asked her, who did this to you, but she never replied. This is not... Okay, come on. Well, I love how, like, sometimes Ace Attorney requires you to take a million more steps just to get something.
Man,
So you tried to find out who the culprit was?
Where's A. Lewis?
It's almost like they're hiding something.
He who asks a question is a fool for a minute. He who does not remains a fool forever. And having been labeled a criminal twice during my time in Great Britain, I was quick to make up my mind. Better to be a fool for a minute than remain a fool in prison forever. So Seki.
However, you indicted that the victim failed to respond. Is that correct?
I know why. I know why the English woman said nothing. She was ignoring me because of my stupid mustache. Because I'm Japanese.
I mean,
Are you
that
racist?
tracks, but
Is he racist?
Oh dear. Seki-san has really developed a dislike for the English, it seems.
Hey everyone, sidebar, is he racist? Having read the reports of his time in Great Britain, I can't say I'm surprised at his xenophobia.
yes, he is. But the English woman didn't ignore you at all! And did she, Mr. Spider-Man?
Danny, why do you know so much of this? What the heck? Well, yes, alright. She did respond in a manner of speaking, I suppose. She just lifted a trembling finger and pointed in the direction of the defendant. Oh. Huh?
Miss Brett pointed a finger at the defendant. So Seki-san, is that really true?
It's not easy to stand here and say this, but when we first entered the beach hut, the Englishwoman was sprawled on the floor before us, with the student girl standing on the far side of her. And when I asked who did this to you, the Englishwoman summoned her last ounce of strength to point a trembling figure at the back of the hut. Which was, well, it can't be denied, in the direction of the student girl who stands accused today.
No.
Soseki-san, why on earth did you neglect to mention this in your original testimony?
But, fiddlesticks, I say!
This is not a British court of law. You will respond in Japanese.
Yes, of course! The Englishwoman did point her finger towards the back of the hut, but I was trembling, and she was trembling, and everything was a blur. And thinking about it, I feel as though perhaps she was pointing in a slightly different direction. Actually, no, not slightly, in a very different direction to where the student girl was standing. To somewhere at the back of the hut, where nobody was standing at all.
You mean that your memory of the events and the direction in which the victim was pointing are both unclear?
I mean...
You mean the hole in the back of the hut?
Yeah, I'm just like...
That hole? That hole in the back of the hut?
Wait, hold on. That's weird. That's crazy. Like, she was pointing towards the back, so she was facing towards the back of the hut. How in this picture she got turned around? I'm like, wait, hold on. She was facing towards the back. There's no way she could have just crawled and turned herself around, right? I don't know. Anyway.
No, they said she
Magic.
they said she pointed towards the back. They didn't say that she was actually facing towards the back.
Yes, that's it. Unclear. I'm very, very unclear. Hello?
Damn, Ouchie's been stunned into silence.
Sorry, had to address something.
That's fine.
And see, surely this proves the matter beyond all reasonable doubt. Yes, the woman may barely have been conscious, and yes, perhaps her finger wavered slightly. But there can be no doubt that this was an attempt by the victim to confirm the identity of her assailant. Why? Because as the court can see, there was no other than the accused in the direction the victim was pointing. It is now abundantly clear that no one besides the accused could have possibly committed this crime.
I am inclined to agree. And in the absence of any credible argument to the contrary, I believe we can now conclude this trial.
No!
Me too.
The headline's running itself. And Dashing Liars hopes dashed 92 points across the whole page. We'll do an extra edition.
This is a serious blow, Susato. Unless we're able to identify the true culprit and substantiate our claim with evidence, the judge will give his ruling and the trial will be over.
But that's impossible, Father. We don't even know the crime was committed yet.
Impossible though the task may be, we have no choice. We must think back over everything we've learned thus far. Somewhere in all those details, I'm confident we'll find the clue we need.
Ray gave us her account of how events unfolded in the defendant's antechamber before this trial resumed. She told us what happened at the precise moment Miss Brett was killed.
Oh, sorry, I forgot for a second I voiced her. The English woman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. And then, a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet before collapsing on the floor in front of me with a knife in her back.
How could Miss Brett have been stabbed in the back in a beach hut that was empty but for herself and Ray? Someone admit all the information we've gathered so far. There must be an answer to that question.
I take it then that the defense has nothing further to add?
So, the gallant yokel student's luck finally runs out. I can't say I'm surprised.
You know, if everyone's a yokel to you, that means you're probably the actual
Poor
yokel.
Poor KB. We got you.
In that case, I'm ready to deliver my final verdict on this matter.
This is a crucial turning point now. If I can't establish what really happened, it's over. Where was the real culprit hiding? And how did he or she stab the victim?
We know how.
Yeah. Objection!
Your Excellency, I respectfully ask that you postpone your adjudication for the time being.
Oh? To what end, counsel?
The defense would like to present the court with an alternative theory. An alternative theory that can explain who the victim was actually trying to implicate with her dying gesture.
An alternative theory? Ha! None exists.
Oh, shut up, you yokel.
There was someone else present at the scene who could have committed this crime.
What?
Are you deaf? Like, seriously.
mean...
Okay, whatever.
Look, I can't help if my lines are written like that.
I mean, he's, what? He's 52, and, you know, that's old back in the day, you know?
Oh my god, he's basically dead. He's a corpse.
Why are you even here? You shouldn't be practicing law anymore. You should be in retirement.
I mean,
You cannot kill me in a way that matters.
I mean, there's definitely someone in our Congress that definitely needs to retire, if you know what I mean. Anyway.
And the victim, Miss Brett, tried to reveal who it was to those around her at the time. By mustering all of her remaining strength and pointing a trembling finger in the killer's direction.
This is fiction. Fantasy.
You're right, this is a video game.
Very well. As you seem so sure of yourself, Counsel, I am prepared to hear your alternative theory. So, young Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Yes, Your Excellency.
You will present your latest theory to the court by means of this plan. At the moment the victim was stabbed, where exactly are you proposing the culprit was concealed?
Not inside the hut, I'm presuming.
Well, we mentioned where the
There's a
hole is, right?
So there was a hole here. But
Yeah.
So that means he's probably just outside over here somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey.
Naruto-san would never give up. Wait. No, he definitely would, actually.
No, he hasn't given up as of late.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
Naruhodo would think a lot about giving up and never actually do it. How about that?
Yeah.
Can
Yeah,
we
yeah.
all agree with this?
Yeah.
I think we can agree with this.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And I am a Naruhodo now.
Hey, yo.
Kinda wish I was a Kazuma, to be honest. The true culprit who fatally stabbed Miss Brett was concealed in this location here.
Are you mad, Counsel? You're suggesting the culprit was outside the hut.
What?
Ah!
Order! Order! Order!
But student lawyer Naruhodo-san Esquire! That makes no sense at all!
You just pointed out the exact spot where I was hiding to get my scoop snap.
Oh, really?
But I didn't see any suspicious individual loitering about. I can swear to that.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, if the culprit had been outside the hut, there is no way that he or she could have stabbed the victim who was inside the hut.
But that's where this guy was standing. Yeah, and he said no one else was there, so, you know, I guess it didn't happen.
Dang, I guess it was just the wind.
Actually, Prosecutor Achi, there is a way. Ah! And, in point of fact, the defense can provide evidence strongly suggesting that it's precisely the way Miss Brett was killed.
You're bluffing. You're bluffing, you...
The defense's assertion is clearly too fantastical for the court to comprehend. So you will need to give us more guidance here, Counsel. What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut?
So,
Are you people for real? Like, 1 + 1 = 2, come on.
probably the picture, because that has the hole in the back, yeah?
Can you inspect the hole in the back on the picture? Like, is that a thing the game lets you do?
No. But, like, I'm assuming we present it and then we just point it out in the picture.
Okay.
I think that's what they want. Take that!
The original photographic print of the crime scene?
Yes, it's clearly visible in this print. The trace of a fatal thrust that was delivered from outside the beach hut.
Do you take us for fools? There's no hint of any such thing.
Well, you should get your eyesight checked in addition to your hearing.
I mean, he's wearing glasses.
Well, you should get it checked even better. I'm not sure that everyone present would agree. Someone, at least, appears to have noticed what it is that I'm referring to.
Counsel, once again, I must ask you to be explicit for the court.
You must really hate your job because, like, everyone here is super vague.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating. It's like hurting children. Where on this photograph is the trace of the stabbing which you claim took place from outside the hut?
Boop.
Well, you know, in the doorway.
In the doorway.
Look closely just here. In the screen at the back of the hut, you can see the effects of blade having been forced through the reeds.
No, I can't. I can't see any such thing.
Ouchie.
Well, maybe you should get the fog out of your glasses.
Uh-oh.
It's true that the hut in question had 4 walls It's true that the hut in question had 4 walls as you expect. However, by parting the reeds, a knife blade could easily penetrate them.
This is extraordinary.
I think that's just basic construction. Yes. The true culprit actually stabbed the victim from outside the beach hut.
Oh!
And everyone present at the scene, there was only one person who could have done that. Only one person who was directly outside the hut when Miss Brett was killed. Raiten Marimomo-san! It could only have been you!
No!
This preposterous idea leaves me almost speechless. Just look at the photograph again. The victim lies almost exactly in the center of the beach hut, does she not? Are we to assume as part of this farcical scenario that the assailant was a knife thrower?
Objection! I mean, she was sitting in the back. Did you forget that part?
No, of course not. He's a reporter, not a circus performer.
We're not?
You know what? I just thought of something.
What?
So I'm going to assume, for the sake of this theory, that Raiten did not mean to do this. So my guess is, did he try to use the knife to part the reeds and didn't realize that she was sitting right there?
That is a possibility.
We'll have to find out.
That's my working theory right now.
Okay.
That sounds hilarious, though.
That sounds like a very Ace Attorney outcome, honestly.
That sounds very Ace Attorney, which is why I'm feeling good about it.
Yes,
Look, I just want to get my scoop, and I'll get it at any cost. Except murder. I don't want to do that, so, she did it.
If you recall the testimony in defense about the events that just before the Dixon's death,
Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on the stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me as if she knew she was untouchable. A stool?
have a look at the photograph. The slits in the reed screen would align perfectly with the back of the person who is sitting on that stool.
My word! So, in fact, the victim was...
Killed was sitting on the stool by a stab wound to her back delivered through the reed screen.
Ah!
Having been attacked, Miss Brett rose to her feet instinctively. But then, unable to speak, she collapsed on the floor in the middle of the hut. Before the defendant, Membami-san's appalled eyes. And that, Your Excellency, is the truth of what happened on the beach that day. By your silence, Merimomo-san, I take it that you don't deny the charge.
This is absurd!
Rumble, 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 rumble.
That will do. It would appear that we have a tacit admission of guilt from the witness. Accordingly, this court has successfully established the truth of this matter, which means that the defendant, Membani-san, is innocent of the crime.
Oh, thank goodness. I finally made him cave.
I must say, I've never been more proud.
No, this can't be. The Ouchie clan can't. What of my growth? My growth of hope!
Growth is withered and died.
It wasn't all an apparition. I can't accept this. I won't!
I see no reason for the continuance of this trial. I will therefore move to conclude proceedings by delivering my final Oh, god damn it.
Hold it! I was just taking it up. Ha ha ha! Well, this is all very convenient. This is how the highest court in our mighty empire delivers its justice, is it? Suppressing well-meaning citizens' freedom to speak and branding them as criminals.
I mean, you kind of did that with Ray, but oh, sure.
Doing that with Ray? Yeah, that's true.
But we've established that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut through the reed screen walls.
And no one but you was in place at the time to have this hand on the hilt of the blade. It's a perfectly logical deduction.
So, your argument hinges on the location of who has stabbed the Englishwoman, does it? Well, it seems it's a little irrelevant now.
Irrelevant?
Where she was stabbed, how she was stabbed. Well, it doesn't matter anymore. I mean, whether she was stabbed at all makes no difference, if you think about it. After all, this trial's already shown the whole thing hinged on something else.
Okay, sir. Yeah, he's definitely the culprit for now. Which, we're gonna have to deal with that in the next video because we're out of time. And Soseki,
Look at that post. This man is guilty.
Is Soseki gonna be okay?
This man is over here like with the intimidating aura effects from JoJo's.
Alright,
Soseki just really needs to use the bathroom.
that's... yes. Well, we can probably do that now, right, Soseki? Let's go! See you all in the next video!